Welcome back everyone to Let's Play War Footing, Strategic Defense Management, episode number 3. Sorry about the delay in this one. I actually recorded a whole episode number 3, got to like turn 46 or something like that, but my recording software crashed. OBS, it's usually very stable. Anyway, let's get into it. So, we have very few turns left before war is declared. We can see intelligence, we're already, what is this, around 70%, 75% tensions. Anytime over 80 or over 90, I forget where, you can have war break out. I'm looking at things. I was doing some analysis, and obviously I can actually draw from my, unrealized episode number 3 that I didn't, that the recording failed on, to know that manpower is going to be a concern. So we're going to try to ramp up conscription to extensive this time. Then I want to spend enough to get our industrial base up to 2925, which is divided by 3. Is 975. Then I can just do 3 queues and each one can be 975. I have plans for those, so let's do that. And I'm gonna try to use more off-camera work for like the analysis and like the calculations for what I need to build, like I've done this first turn. So I might just do a pause every turn to figure out what the production is gonna look like, and then just come back and report so that we can get to war as quickly as possible, which sounds a little funny to say, but yeah, let's get to the action, because I think that that's what people at this point really want to see. Okay, so let's go over to domestic production and actually do what I just said we would do. The things I'm going to get are artillery and small arms, and the reason why is because I want to use some of this manpower for a couple of artillery support battalions. I think that those are going to be very useful. Obviously, artillery is very effective as far as having a lot of soft attack, so I'm going to try to prioritize that a little bit more. We definitely need some more recovery vehicles. There's a lot of different things we're going to need. But let's start off with this one with getting 39 of these. And then we want 573 enhanced US combat kit. Because we're actually out of this. And I want more than that as well, because what we really want is enough to supply all the divisions or the battalions. I always say that. All the battalions which currently don't have the best combat kit. We might as well upgrade them, because it is a small, I mean, it's not a small, it's a noticeable difference between, I think it's 5, and the soft attack on this one is 7. So, you're increasing your combat capability by 40% for your ground troops. It's kind of like a no-brainer if we can afford to do this, which we can. And it's mostly a limit in the effort, in the production, because the cost for this kit is not that expensive. Even, like 500 of them is only $500,000. So, I mean, well, that's because we pay the lower price, of course, but kind of makes me think that I should have gone with the elite US combat kit and just get the soft attack all the way up to 9. That one has a production effort of 2, so it would also make the math easier. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. So we have our 2 queues, and we want, one more group of artillery? If we want to do a battalion, so let's just go over and see what the battalion needs are. Because of the manpower concerns I am seeing, I think we will switch over to armored battalions after this as well, just because they are cheaper on manpower. And the fire support, unfortunately, kind of unexpectedly in my opinion, a fire support battalion still takes 500 manpower. I'm still going to do this for this turn because I was basically expecting to do this. I was planning for it. But we also see that although I deployed my infantry onto the battle map, I didn't increase the transport capacity, which we need to do. And I also need to increase my maintenance platoons so that we can have coverage there. So you can see that if we have 0, or even if we have 1, it looks like we have enough. At some point, we're also going to want a maintenance platoon, and this is why we're definitely going to want some more recovery vehicles. So I'll be doing more recovery vehicles soon, but let me just check with the battalion that we just got, the artillery one, fire support. If I upgrade their equipment, what are we looking at? Yeah, we are a little bit short on artillery. This will be covered by the amount I've already produced, which means I guess I'm going to go right into recovery vehicles after this. Although we'll want to ramp up artillery over the next few turns, still more of it, because I think we might even get a second support artillery battalion. But what was I going to do here? I was going to get recovery vehicles. So 36, 975 divided by 36 is 27. Good, so let's get 27 of these. And confirm that that is below 975, and it is. Good. So we're all set for this turn, and we can ramp up. Oh, look there, 7 million left. There's another thing I want to do. I mean, we got to ramp up intelligence eventually, but since we're increasing our manpower like increase by 400, we're actually only sitting at 350 at level 3. So I'm going to ramp this up to 550, spend a little bit of money there. That way we capture the entirety of the 400 new recruits which will be coming in every turn. And then last but not least, I guess we'll just go ahead and lobby for more budget. And we have a little bit left over. We'll just go ahead and end the turn. Try to get to war as quickly as possible, with also trying to minimize the tensions, because I think it is optimally in our favor to slow things down a little bit to have more time to build up. Okay, so we have somebody else reaching level 4, some groups reaching level 3. That's all good. Let's get the level 4 team to do assault, and I think I will deploy them. What's our logistics situation look like? Yeah, we are reporting everything is fine there. So yeah, let's go to the battle map. And you are training, but I think you can just deploy them directly by the battle map. I'll just do it as a test. Yeah. And these squares, I think that there will be some work done on this. The graphics don't really quite exactly fit, right? But you can see even our manpower right now is only at 761, and we're losing stability per turn doing it this way, but I think it's still worth it to get the extra manpower for now. So anyways, we have 69, 69, and 64. Notice that we are starting to dig in peacetime. That's good to see. So center is essentially going to be very, very effective at holding, because we're planning to put a lot of troops here. I have done some testing. I think that it doesn't require or cost very much readiness to switch from center to north or to south. I mean, switching the border doesn't matter as much as just being deployed from rear echelon to the front. Like staging to the front or back to staging does impact your readiness significantly. All right, so let's get this unit training, which I should have done, but that's fine. We kind of like slacked on one turn on that. But the next step for us, I think, is we're got to build up some armored battalions. These are great for a lot of reasons, but I think that when you're facing a soft force, and especially there may be some motorized forces as well, that this will be very helpful for us. We only have 9 tanks right now, so our next plan is for me to figure out how to best optimize 48 million into production capacity, and also purchasing. I mean, tanks are not cheap, so you might actually have to allocate some for purchasing the tanks itself. Okay, I have a game plan. Since we're going to go into armor, we're going to really attack getting a lot of tanks this turn. In fact, I'm just going to get all tanks, in fact. But we'll do this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I want 15. Yeah, 30, 75. Good. This divided by 3 is 1025. So we now have 1025. We could do divided by 3. Or I could just try to max out the number of tanks I can get in this one. So for that, we want 3075 divided by 67.5, which gives us 45 tanks. So actually, we could divide it by groups if we wanted. But 45 is going to give us enough for another armored battalion. So I'll just do 45 directly. And that takes us down to 5.9 million. That's perfect. So I don't know. This is good. So we can either lobby for budget, which is probably what I'll do here. Anything else we need to do? Are our units all training? Yes, they are. Good. Yeah. So I think I'm going to actually create the tank division this time. Tank battalion. Sorry, I will always make that mistake. And I just apologize profusely. But armored battalion, let's get this one going right away so we can start it training. It won't have that many tanks in it, but they can do their small arms training and artillery or whatever. I think we do have still some mobile artillery in reserve, right? Well, maybe not. We have 4, but are we still getting more of these? I might need to go back and do another arms trade for these just to make sure we have enough. And if I want to go more armored battalions, I need to buy them anyways. And we have 5.9 million. Seems like a good time to do it. Yeah. Okay. So then let's go over to industry and start recruit. Well, okay. So at some point tensions are going to increase the market price even more. We're kind of on the cusp of that already, I feel. So let's just do it now. PZH, see if we can get more of those. Sort by market price. Yeah, so we're facing an opponent which should be mostly soft attack, and so in some ways the Merles is a better option because it has higher soft attack. However, that said, I mean, we're sorting by market price, and look how much higher the Merles is than the 2,000 we have. It's probably not worth the really minuscule. I mean, this is like a 15%, maybe 10% increase in soft attack. That's not insignificant, but this does have higher hard attack and double the armor. It is more expensive in terms of effort to produce. That's something to consider. Anyway, so we have a deal active already, which is good to know. How many more are we going to get? We only have 2 more coming. Well, we could do a deal to get some Merles in here as well, because we can get a second arms deal. We're only going to be able to get like 4, which means that we can do like an arms deal for like 5 turns and do pretty much as many as we can get from this, which is 5? Question mark? Maybe not. Nope, we can only get 4. So this would be 4. I don't like that. You know, I really don't like that. I think I'm going to wait for the current deal, which has 5 turns left on it, to expire. Either that or I will just buy them directly. Is that a good idea? Yeah, no, I like them better. So I think we will go with that. I wish we could actually cancel the deal and then, you know, these would not actually be all that bad to license at this point, since I am going a little bit more armor heavy, but okay. We're not going to do anything with that for now, so we'll just dump money into lobbying for budget, I guess. And I do need to increase our intelligence as well. We're only at 60. It would be nice to start getting more reliable information. This is actually high reliability, which is good to see from the Swedish intelligence, that they are fielding Su-27 flankers. And I think that so my plan, if I was to go to any aircraft, is probably to get the little bit of the cheaper ones that can still do multi-role, is the Gripen. I think the Gripen is a great choice. It also doesn't require that much complexity, which means you don't have to upgrade your hangars that much. So yeah, 11,000. It's not 11,500 like most things, but only 78 complexity. Still has 525 as far as the ground attack, so it has reasonable ground attack capability. I mean, to put that in perspective, the A-10 has like way more, but it's not terrible. Even the Alpha Jet is pretty cheap. It's only 1.8 million and gives you quite a lot of ground attack. Yeah, I mean, I just haven't been super impressed with how well the Alpha Jet did against ground forces. I may not do that in this playthrough, but we'll probably want at least one squad for air superiority, because the nice thing is, although your air defense has to deploy to a region, your air superiority is map wide. So you only need, I mean, essentially it intercepts for all 3 zones. Okay, that said, let's end the turn. Did I start training? I hope I started training. Oh yeah, we forgot to increase our maintenance, which we now have the recovery vehicles to do. And this definitely takes manpower, although I really wish, and this is a note to the dev, we do need to see this number updated in real time as I click on units and all that. There are ways to get it to refresh. I think one way of doing it is by... No, I might as well just reassign these anyway because I need to in 4 more turns, but I think we can just lobby once. Yeah, we lobby, the manpower's updated, but we shouldn't have to... It's like you got to pay for your intelligence. You got to go to the people and be like, hey, give us money so we can know how many people are left in our manpower pool. It obviously shouldn't work that way. Anyway, let's go over to the military, make sure I'm training. Yeah, so we didn't train the armor battalion last time. Should have done that. And now they are equipped with 54 tanks. They're in great shape. I don't know. Also, this is a bug that the equipment just perpetually remains at 96% despite being 100%, really, because there's no other missing thing. I don't know what they're waiting for here or how that's calculated. Hopefully it's just a display bug, but if this is actually reducing my combat effectiveness by 4% due to a bug, that's kind of that's kind of unfortunate. How much artillery do we have? We have 27, which I think that's enough to warrant us going for another fire support battalion, since we have the people for it. So let's go ahead and order that formation, and we can spend this turn filling that out. So because we're pretty much good on tanks. Let's upgrade this equipment and see what we're actually missing. Yeah, some artillery. So we need artillery and we need tanks, which I can figure out when I decide to do my shopping list for this time. Yeah, it's pretty clear. Artillery and tanks, that's what we need. Okay, so I have it planned out. Hopefully, I did a little bit of mental math, so hopefully I didn't do that wrong. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, we're on 30. One more. I always try to be conservative. Can't go back. You can always go forward one more. So now we have, this should be enough for each to have 1,125. So we want, out of that, we're deficit 6, and we will order 16 new tanks. Cue that up. That should be about 10 million. Yep. Then we have artillery we want to get, and 1125 divided by 5, or 25 is 40 plus 5, 45. Hopefully I did that right. Yeah, looks good. And then I want to get some more small arms because I see, again, we only have 253. I want to make sure that our groups are updated with the best combat kit. And we have more groups that are going to be coming out too. So just want to make sure that we have enough of this. And this is 661 if I did my math right. And yeah, good. Okay, so we have 11 million left. We can put that into lobbying or intelligence. Let's do intelligence this time. Get maybe 90 on intelligence so we start to really get a lay of the land in terms of the reports we're getting. Otherwise, I'm going to dump the rest into, yeah, lobbying. And end the turn. Okay, we're on high alert. I wonder, did the budget change? The market prices change yet? Okay, got somebody to level 4, the armor. And did I hope I trained. I didn't actually deploy anyone new last time, but no, I didn't start training. I'm always lagging one turn. This time it feels like another possible armor battalion turn. Having 2 fire support battalions is probably all I want, just because they are so manpower inefficient, which again, a very big surprise to me. I don't want to like underplay the amount of logistics and all that goes into like artillery, but I just don't think it's that manpower intensive as what they have here. Maybe, I don't know any better though. Maybe I'm wrong, but my impression is that it should not be the same as a full infantry battalion. All right, so intelligence, anything new? We have, wow, 5 to 7 infantry battalions facing us in the north, and 0 to 2 motorized. We also are looking at, I mean, motorized wouldn't be that bad for us to go for, because I feel like, although the martyrs are like 36 points, they are not, I mean, we kind of need to go, our money is ramped up so much that we need to employ money intensive, but manpower cheap solutions, which is basically high tech, right? And a little bit surprising to me that even an air battalion takes, or a fixed wing squadron takes 100 manpower. Now, again, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes for 12 aircraft, but is it really 1/5 of the amount of people that are needed to support an infantry battalion with, 500 people or whatever? Okay, cool. I think I have a game plan for this one. We have 3325, which can get us 49 Abrams, which is going to cost about 30 million, taking us down to about 21 million. And I think we'll get another very short-term 5-turn arms deal for more self-propelled artillery. That should set us up nicely to get, I'm going to get 14 of them. That way I have enough for 2 more armored battalions. We just really transitioned very heavily over to this. I wish there was another way to get more manpower. Yeah, anyway, I don't know how it's supposed to work, but there's not a whole lot of knobs you can turn to increase your manpower besides sacrificing stability. And maybe that's by design. Maybe this is good. Forces us to use a balanced approach, but it does seem to really heavily prioritize not just fielding infantry. I feel like there should be another knob to allow you to go with a more manpower heavy solution, which doesn't seem like it exists. Anyway, so 49 of these, we'll queue that up. That should be just below 3325, and it is. We'll go over to the arms market. We're up to 115%, so we don't want to do this a whole lot more, but I am going to do one more arms deal. Let's see. If I do 10 of them, I want to do 14 of them, 5 turns. That will give me, that costs 12 million, which you can see that we have enough to afford. I could do, let's see. So I want to make sure that these are available. I mean, 5 turns does seem like we can't do more than that. So let's just do this. This is going to cost us a fair amount, but we'll know we'll be in good shape for supplying our tank battalions going forward. And for once I said battalion. Okay, we're all training here. We have the means to get the next armored battalion, so I think that that's what we do. Get that one training right away. Great. Now you are not going to have all the tanks and everything you need, but yeah, you don't have any mobile artillery. In fact, you actually can get 10 tanks, and you'll have almost all of these. We'll have only missing 1 tank next turn. That's just crazy. We can almost supply an entire tank battalion in 1 turn with our production. That's fantastic. So, I don't know. Things aren't looking that bad. We do have this armor battalion as a nice stopgap for our manpower issues. Just get them training first. And, oh yeah, we have 2 battalions that can deploy. For infantry, I'm still going to prioritize using the higher soft attack. For armor, you would consider anti-armor for these, but we are only seeing infantry and maybe some motorized. I think that our armor battalions should already just decimate motorized. I don't know, is there a difference between motorized and mechanized in this? Do they just, are those treated the same? I guess I should be able to tell from this directly. Yeah, there's only infantry versus mechanized, so I guess that means mechanized, which means more APCs, but I still feel confident that, I mean, armored is pretty much the counter to mechanized, right? So let's, yeah, I think that this is going to be fine. We're just going to rely on our armor to counter their forces. What was I saying with that? Oh, right. I'm going to go with soft attack then, because I feel like they're already going to be very capable of attacking the hard targets. So we'll do that. And these guys can both, yeah, and it is sitting at 77%. So I do think that the equipment is causing them to lose a little bit of readiness, which is unfortunate. Anyways, let's go ahead and deploy both of those to center, I think, still. And get them to start digging in, get some better entrenchment, essentially. If I'm talking about decisive campaigns, Barbarossa, that's what I would say, entrenchment. And how are we doing on the next ones? They're probably really close. This one's probably really close to getting up to level 4. We're starting to actually field a good amount of units, though. That's nice to see. And we know at some point we're going to have to switch over to aircraft, which are really more money intensive than they are production. I mean, it's 280 for a Gripen, if I remember correctly. So it's not that it's not production, like it's very production heavy, but it's just so much more money heavy that I think our production is already going to be able to support us, and the money will be ultimately the limit there. Okay, so anyways, what else do we want to do this turn? We have 9.1 million left. Let's get our intelligence up to 95, I guess. Look over to industry. If we want to do aircraft at some point, we should be increasing our maintenance hangar. We can't even buy the Gripens until that's done, but honestly, that's something best left to do on the same turn. So I think we are just going to lobby here. I don't understand this. Am I crazy? Yes, I am crazy. I thought that I did manpower. Did I mess up something? I messed up something. Oh, Lord help me. Yeah, I got things mixed up in my brain for sure. We went so I don't know exactly what I did, but I messed up our production queue there. I don't think that's going to hurt us too much. Basically just slowed down something. I must have messed up the one 2 turns ago because I don't know why. I think the math I did on this was correct. That's okay. So we can actually do this still. This is still 2 turns worth of production. There's a way we can work around this. I'll have to figure it out off camera though. Oh man, a lot of things got messed up last turn. Not just the production, but also we did not. I wish there was a warning or some way to catch this, but because our transport capacity, we added troops and we didn't increase the transport companies. Just something you have to be mindful of. Our readiness for everyone dropped down to 54%. Now that wouldn't be a big deal if the recovery was simple, but it's like our entire front is down to 50% readiness because of like overlooking this. And there's not a warning which tells you that your transport, I mean, you have to go to the transport logistics screen to find this out. We also really desperately need a maintenance platoon because we're starting to build up this repair equipment backlog that essentially this equipment has broken down. We need some way to repair it. We'll get through, I don't know what complexity this is, but we'll get through 1140 complexity per turn, which is having 1 maintenance platoon. So we need to increase the maintenance platoons more to decrease the risk of vehicles breaking down. And you can see that this itself is where a lot of manpower ends up going. Now, with this fully met, now we're at 100%. That means the readiness cap is 100% again. It just, as I said, is a real big bummer that it's going to take a while for all our troops to get their readiness back up. and they could be at like 100% readiness when the people hit. I don't know if that'll be the case anymore. For air defense, this is another kind of weird thing. I don't know if hard attack has... I mean, the mechanics in this game are just so obscure, right? It's not very clear if surface-to-air weapons have a hard attack value, which means anything, because there's no armor for aircraft. So I have absolutely no idea what this means. Hard attack, I mean, in the way the game's set up, in my opinion, it's about breaking through the armor. But yeah, so how does this work exactly? Is this supposed to be the damage you'll do to an aircraft? Because, I mean, well, anyways, it's not very clear to me. Do we want to increase our hard attack? I mean, probably. The only other thing we could do is increase our recovery. But I think, yeah, we'll do 1 and 1. Why don't we do 1 and 1? Because I have no idea. So we're kind of mitigating our risk of doing something stupid if we do 2 different options here. So we'll choose hard attack for one of them and defensive for training recovery on the other. These units can both deploy. So at least center will be very well protected from aircraft. And I think at some point I thought I saw that center is the place their aircraft are. Now, again, we don't get a manpower update on things until we like lobby, or I guess we just pay a little bit of money, lobby right now, and just find out where we're at. 372. Okay, so we have enough potentially for another armored battalion. Let's try to fix the armored battalions that we have now. Okay, now we're out of recovery vehicles. Very good. So what I have for this, not that, but this, the 2200. So, I mean, obviously we can just say that this is 1100 per turn, and 3325 is basically 1100 per turn. So we're good if, yeah, we're essentially good as is. If we just leave this for 2 turns and do 3 different items. So let me queue up. I definitely want to queue up some more recovery vehicles because we need those. So divided by 36 is 31. Get 31 of these. And then we also want to queue up probably some more tanks even. No, yeah, okay, so we're only short on recovery vehicles and tanks. And we're pretty short on tanks. I even want another battalion after this, if you recall. So let's go ahead and do that one. So 1125 divided by 67.5 is 16. So we'll get 16 more tanks in the queue. Good. So those will all finish. Then we have a lot of money left over this time. So, man, that really means that we're going to lobby a lot. Intelligence is at 95. Good. I think that I'm not going to go to 100 just in case we get a random event, which takes it from 95 up to 100. I also don't really notice a difference between 90, 95, and 100. Even like 80, I don't really notice a difference. So that's a lot of lobbying. I don't think there's anything else we need to do the money for right now, though. So let's just make even more money. This is basically building our way up to eventually have fantastic jets. We'll have more money for it. Yeah. Okay. So I don't see the production completing. Am I just doing math in like a very bizarre way? What is happening? I am. So, am I crazy? 3,300 divided by 3 is 1,100, right? I'll need to go back in the recording and watch what kind of a stupid person I am that I didn't do the math right. So we got this wrong by 8, which is just like the worst thing you can do. What I'll do though is I'll go ahead and make this right. I'm going to pause the camera. I'm going to fill this production queue with a lot of stuff to minimize the amount of stuff we're losing. I'll probably increase the production capacity as well because we do have a lot of money here. I mean, at this point, we could just spend our money and buy the units outright, even with the very, very high 150% overhead. Okay, but let me figure this out. All right, check my darn math. Check my darn math. 3605 divided by 10. That should be 360. I'm doing 360 off this one, 360 off this one, and then 360. 360. There's number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8. Number 9, number 10. So I have 10 queues. 3605 divided by 10 is 360, and I have nobody here that is over 360 except for this one who can stay for one more turn. Am I crazy? Did I do it wrong? Let's find out. But let's go over to logistics first. We have some things to correct here. We still have a risk of vehicles breaking down. So say goodbye to that precious manpower. We need to put more platoons into here. How's the recovery going as far as the military goes? Oh, it's going so bad. You know, they go from 80% down to like 65 when they move into the front to begin with. So this is, in my opinion, like a big failing of the game, that it doesn't really tell you about your logistics situation until you hit end turn. A lot of things like that, in my opinion, need to improve. Anyway, so I went through and I did upgrade everyone except for maybe the last one, just to make sure. Yeah, that one didn't have Martyr 183s, but so I think everybody else should be fully upgraded. All right, so you are done. 5th Infantry. How do I want to deploy this eventually? Because I have 4 battalions already here. We have 2,600 manpower here. I think it is time to start to deploy other groups, but because I'm not expecting to have, I'm not sure if we have enough time to actually hold the border. So what I'm planning to do, just to buy a little bit more time, is to start building up entrenchment for the units behind the front lines. Now, I believe that you can move from north to center to south without incurring a readiness cost, but we don't have to check that right now anyway. But let's get, who do we like more, north or south? Let's take north. So we'll deploy here. We'll just start building up a little bit in entrenchment. Yeah, 64. We have some units even in our area over here, like this one. 3rd Infantry is down to 59%. Speaking of which, we do need this over here, and we need one of these. That's sufficient. I also want to get another tank battalion. Let's just make sure we have any tanks in reserve, which we do not, because probably this whole production fiasco. I'm still going to order it so they can start training. I think that they have enough other equipment that they can just, again, start doing the other stuff. But let's get this going as quickly as possible because, you know, the war is not going to wait for us. Let's see. Do you have any tanks at all? Yeah, 0. So we know what we need to do for industry. We need to ramp up that a fair amount. And we have a lot of tanks which are going to finish next turn. We have 10 more, plus the 49 here, which we still have 17 that haven't been delivered. And yeah, so it's good. What are we short on then? Let's just take a stock of our stockpile. I guess stats will do that. Not too many recovery vehicles. We'll need more of those. We're only getting 1 more in the batch currently. Yeah, and we're using all of the self-propelled artillery as soon as it comes out. So that's good to know as well that we need to be careful about that. Yeah, I guess we'll hit, and it's nice to see that we have standard US service kit in the backup, as a backup. So, I mean, that's not that much worse, right? So worst case scenario, we can use that. Maybe I don't need to be prioritizing building as much enhanced US service kit, but it is pretty cheap. So all it is a production cost. We're really manpower starved right now. So I think all of our focus has to be on efficiency per manpower. Oh, crisis imminent. Okay, well that probably increases the cost for things. Anyway, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. So only the top Abrams didn't finish. I finally got the math right. We have a ton of money coming in, especially because it's increased. We have some units breaking down, but you can see that now our repair backlog, our repair is more than our backlog. So we are recovering vehicles per turn in general. So it's kind of okay for a little bit of a vehicle breakdown risk to happen, like 0.0%. We're going to be okay with that, especially as it takes more manpower to do anything. Another thing we should be considering is at some point we want to get the fixed wing squadron training, which means we should do that soon. But the priority, I think, first has to be getting the tank battalion outfitted. So 730, we can do 730, which means 3650 would be enough for us to do that, divided by 5. I'll do this off camera. All right, I'm gonna go up to, hopefully I do the math right on this again. I really made a meal of this one, and I know you're not gonna believe me, but I did not fail this badly in the previous one. Still don't know how that happened, but one thing and it all got messed up. So 3725 divided by 5 is like 740-ish, or 743, I think is what I need to do 11 units of Abrams. Yeah, so 743, and let me just do this. 743 times 5 is 3715. Good. So we should be fine. Whew. But let me do then 3 more of those. 11Q, 11Q, 1 more. All right, we have a lot of money left over. What are we gonna do with that? Yeah, darn good question. Well, let's just go ahead and upgrade the network. We don't, like, money's starting to become less of an important thing. By the way, what intelligence have we got lately? They think that it's gonna happen between now and turn 46 because tensions are really high. So it looks like we should be on pace to do that in this video even, which is kind of exciting. As far as the military goes, do we get anyone else to level 4? Yes, we got the 6th Infantry. We'll still do assault for them. Although you can see the merit of doing defense recovery. Maybe I'll start doing that on the ones that are coming up because they won't have as much time to actually get the initial readiness. Although doing the additional 15% damage, if we can like break a force right away, I think that there is a lot of value in that. So let's get the 6th to join. I'm almost considering having it join the center, but you know, honestly, our center force should be good. We have 2,600 there. They're gonna entrench. We have 1 armor. Yeah, eventually we'll get more armor there as well. How far away is the armor from being able to deploy? It's level 3. So yeah, essentially we have this, and then this. It's not too close. I mean, we could deploy level 3s, right? There's not a big problem with that, but getting the spec at level 4 is a huge boost. So I'd prefer to wait for that. I think I am gonna deploy this 6th Infantry Battalion also to the center, just so we can try to do more, hurt them even more there. Now, I am not gonna be a dummy. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna see that our readiness is actually capped at something below 100%. I'm going to increase this, not know what my manpower is, but realize that I probably need to increase my maintenance platoons as well. So we'll do that. But again, now we only have, well, we have 4 in the backlog. Yeah, it'd be nice to keep that number as low as possible. Maybe we'll add 1 more here, which should be all the coverage we need there. How many recovery vehicles do we have left at this point? I can't get any more this turn, but it would be nice to see what's our stockpile at. 0. Okay, good to know. Definitely need to increase that next turn then. But with the 42 million, I mean, gosh, you can just throw money at the problem at this point. Maybe I'll expand industrial expansion a little bit just to get that up for next turn. And then we're just gonna make a lot of money. Our stability is below 85, which is normally where I want to leave it. But I think we need the manpower so desperately right now that, I'm sorry, stability be darned. And yeah, with all the money we're making, by the way, we can definitely bypass the production capability. We can just buy things directly. So if we're short on something that we really want, we'll just buy it from the market, even at the markup price. It's fine. Ooh, okay, I got an achievement for owning 200 tanks. So I guess we have 200 tanks. Oh, great, let's see. So we got all those finished, which is nice. We're back down to the normal production stuff, which doesn't have to be such a mess. A lot of people increasing. We recovered 3. Nice. So I think we are caught up on our backlog for logistics. Yeah, just had 1 breakdown, but we recovered 3, so we know we'll get through that next turn. Manpower's at 681, which means we do have enough to get another armored battalion going. We know that they are, well, they actually are positive on tanks. Hooray. How many do we have left over? 8. Okay, well, that's fine. We can do that. We can get a whole, I think we can get a whole battalion in the go at this point. With our industrial capacity. The question will be, how much do we have? Can we start getting fixed wing? Because I think we want that group to start training. Let me check. All right, I increased my production capacity just a smidge so I could accommodate 36 recovery vehicles. I got the appropriate number of Abrams for whatever this number is divided by 3, and you might be wondering why divided by 3 and I only have 2 units here. Well, let's go ahead and get the aircraft going. Then I can start a squadron next turn, which would be good. So the question is whether or not we want to license them or not, and we need to increase our, well, we need to increase our airbase network eventually, but probably most importantly we need to do this. And is that enough? I think we need 2 clicks of that. Level 2 maintenance should be enough that we can now get the Gripen. Good. So we have enough right now for 85, and the Gripen is 78, so yep, we got it. You can see that the Gripen is actually fairly cheap, and it's, you know, very effective. It's almost as good as the best multi-role fighters, but it's so much cheaper than like unfortunately the Eurofighter is a lot more expensive and considered the same in terms of ground capability. So we're gonna go for this one. It's 280 points. We could buy it outright, but honestly, this one is one where you get the break-even point after you just buy 1.5, so 2, I guess. We will license it. Pretty expensive. Go over to production. Domestic production. We now have a Gripen that we can purchase. Multi-role fighter. And the question is, how many of these can we get for 1296? 280, and we can get 4. So we can't do 5, even though we could afford to buy 5. We can only get the production for 4. Perfect. Okay, good. So then we have 7.8 million left over. That actually worked out pretty well. We can expand industrial capacity a little bit. 2 more clicks of that just to make sure we don't mess up anything. Do a little bit of lobbying. We also need to go over to military before I forget. We have this 7th Infantry Battalion. I'm going to start doing defensive for recovery. I think that the units that are joining at this point, it'll be better for them to get higher recovery. And I am still going with this strategy. I've never tried this, so we'll see if it works. Of like just having overwhelming force on one front to meet the enemy. I don't know if they will avoid you if you do that, or like what their strategy is exactly. So we'll just see if that works and then shift forces over to one of the fronts to quickly win it. We just need to win 2 fronts, right? So if we lose center and one of the, if we lose center, we lose. And if we lose both of the other 2, we lose. Now there's definitely an incentive as far as score goes, as far as like playing the game and feeling good about yourself to not lose these borders. We have a little bit of logistics available. Do we have more trucks? No, we're out of recovery trucks. So even increasing this at this point just barely helps anything. It does increase our manpower costs. And we are good there, and we are good there. So the question then is, do I want to get something else? I think I will get one more. Do we have any tanks lined up? Any Abrams in the back? Yeah, we do. So let's get one more armored battalion since we have the means to do it. Armored battalion, create, and upgrade, start. What do you have, by the way? What are you missing? Yeah, you're missing mobile artillery, which is not surprising. And you're missing a lot of armor. Okay, that's fine. So we'll be able to get them a lot more armor, not next turn, which they'll get a little bit. I think we're producing just a few Abrams, right? 19 of them. So they'll be about halfway ready next turn. And then we'll be able to get them all the rest of their Abrams and get more Gripens on the turn to come. But we'll at least have enough recovery vehicles to do a little bit more. I mean, honestly, we need to do more recovery vehicles too. So that's something that maybe not next turn, but we'll have to do in the near future. End the turn. Yeah, so this 14 of the mobile, that means that those are done. That production queue for the arms deal is done. We did repair that one. That's nice to see. We didn't have any logistics breakdowns, which is good as well. So just a positive turn overall. Achievement unlocked. Armored Might. Field 200 tanks. Okay, yeah, that's the one we noticed last turn. Yes, armored. That's totally what I meant to do from the very beginning, and not just because I'm having huge manpower issues. Who is done this time? So nobody has gotten up to level 4, which means, hey, at least we did get our combat readiness. I would like to see everyone over 80%. You can see that the units with the readiness are just skyrocketing up. And I thought you had readiness as a, yeah, defensive should be the readiness trait. So you should be climbing very quickly up to whatever, higher readiness. Unless I messed up logistics. No, we're okay. We're looking good. Logistics is looking fine for once, which is rare. We do have a few military, we do have enough aircraft to start a fixed wing, which is cool. Let's get that going. All right, so you will we'll assign our Gripens to that, and we'll start them training. They will eventually be on air-to-air. So note that air-to-air does not require you to pick a location. Air-to-ground does. So air-to-air is like map-wide, whereas air-to-ground and obviously all the units are just sector. Good. So let's, obviously we need to increase the Gripens. Let me get my domestic production set up to handle that. Okay, cool. So I increased production up to 4,005 now, and that should give us enough to get 29 Abrams. So just, I mean, if it's below 2,000, you know for sure that we're good there, since 2,000 is a nice, easy number to see. And for as far as Gripens go, we're almost money limited, so we're actually at a nice sweet spot where production and money are both roughly the same thing. But we can only get 7 of these. And that takes us to, yeah, 1960, 1950, basically both under what we need. That's good. So we'll have only one deficit for the full squad of Gripens. We can get some more next turn as well. And then we'll need some more Abrams, which means that we need to spend a little bit more money increasing our industrial expansion. And then we'll just raise the budget. I think everyone's actually fine where they are, so we can just quickly end the turn here as soon as I lobby for more money. And honestly, because our manpower is starting to be okay, and I'm a little bit more worried about our stability now, I'm going to switch back to volunteer, which it should increase training time as well. Now, I think we only have to go back and forth for this to change. Yeah, so another thing which would be nice if it updated on the fly, but there it is. We see what it is. As far as logistics goes, yeah, we're all good here. But we definitely have a strong demand for more recovery vehicles in the very near future. We have 30 in spare. Actually, we need more logistics. We're only down to 77 of those. So cool to see how you have to manage all your inventory. I love it. But end the turn. Oh, wait, don't end the turn. We have 6 more clicks of that to go. Now we can end. Enemy patrols have crossed into our territory and fired on our... Oh, okay, so we can either take tensions and small enemy losses, which is essentially a declaration of war, right? Because obviously... it can't go any lower. I mean, tensions can't really go any higher. Or we can just lose stability to buy us some more time. I'll take the... It just seems like it's worth it not to go to war, considering... Oh, well, we're going to war next turn anyway. Did I make the wrong decision there? Yes. It means that we got to make sure that everyone we want to deploy is deployed, including, cool, our new fire support battalion. I'm not going to do the defense readiness on this one, or am I? I just feel like soft attack on an artillery support is just... You get such a boost to all that delicious soft attack that I would love to have it. So let's do that. I'm going to try to deploy this group. How's our training going, by the way? Do we actually train? Good, they are training. But they're only at level 1, so we're going to rely solely on our air defense for the first round. That's cool. We'll be able to see them in action. Hopefully they are in action and they do well. We're looking at values around 80%, so a little bit lower than I would have liked. And probably they would be like around 85% across the board if we didn't have that one logistics snafu. Okay, but let's do it. So 80%, 64%. Ouch. Yeah, that is pretty brutal. I really wish it wasn't so low. That's a big jump. Anyway, that's just the hit we have to take. Was it me? I don't know. We could, you know what we can do? Actually, we can let these guys, they're not going to gain any entrenchment or dig in, really. We might even have to fall back if we're beaten in the first attack. So I'm not going to have them involved with the first one because their readiness is so bad. And I'm not really sure, again, how the mechanics of this work. Is it better to just involve a low readiness unit? Are they still going to add more than they don't add? Like, is it just a 0.64 modifier to all their values? Maybe that is worth keeping. I mean, if they're artillery, they should be in the back, right? So let's just move them to the front and hope that they survive. Just let me do a quick upgrade of equipment. Yeah, we're all set. And we're only missing 4 mobile artillery. That is something we are going to have to go to the market and buy, or we can just do production. But I think at this point, money is starting to become less of the problem than production is. So I'm just going to buy it from the market, which is still at only 115%. That's fantastic. I'm guessing when we go to war, it's not going to be so generous. So let's go ahead and do an arms deal again, just to make sure we have enough for the near future. There we go. Arms deal. What do we want to do? So we need 6 for a unit. I think we'll get another 14 perhaps over 5 turns. And we'll get basically 3 a turn. I mean, I can just do 15 so we get exactly 3 a turn. Then we know, exactly what we're getting. That seems okay to me. And that means we could outfit another armored battalion, which, I'm definitely thinking about considering the manpower costs. Okay, let's confirm that. Then I need to figure out what we're exactly going to do for domestic production. Cool. We got our groups. I was actually going to do 2 groups of Abrams, but we don't have enough money. So I switched over to logistics. We're a little bit low on them. Get some more. And who doesn't want some? Let's see if I get this right. Rheinmetall logistic trucks. What else then? We have a little bit of money to spend. and no real purpose for it other than to do this, I guess. Check the military one last time, knowing they're coming. We probably need to also tell ourselves that some of these later units don't need to be trained beyond like level 2. Maybe the 4th here, which, how many turns away are you? Yeah, you're only at 76, so you have a long ways to go. I think what we do with you is we don't try to get you to the boost. We just deploy you directly. And this is another one where why not win big? So let's see, not the 50%. Yeah, the 4th Battalion. We'll take them and we'll put them here. 62. Is that what we're going to be okay with? It's a bit low. I'm going to move them up here and let them start entrenching. We'll let them buddy up with the 5th Infantry and actually hold the line in the north. Here we go. All right, well, we didn't update the maintenance, which is not good. Logistics, I mean. I'm also confused. We didn't go to war, or what happened there? Okay, this is still at 89% readiness, which means we did not fail in terms of logistics, horribly at least. But yeah, we're tight. We got lucky, I would say. Let's increase this by 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. You can just feel all that manpower evaporating. We have enough manpower in the maintenance platoons to recap any vehicle breakdowns, I think. We do probably want this to go up a little bit though. There, now we're at 0.0. There's just so many units in central that I want to make sure we're covered there. We're covered here. We're covered here. All good. So we're ready for war. I feel like at this point, let them come. You know, oh, look at that. We're actually going to get one more. So let's get defensive on this armored battalion and deploy them as well. Stop training. So that is 2nd Armored. How big of a hit? 62. Well, not great, is it? Yeah, let's leave them in the back just for 1 turn because we know that they're going to recover very quickly. So we'll see where they're needed. We also need to make sure we update the maintenance according to this. So we increase that. We're actually over. That's good. Let's do this. Do 1 more of those or 2 more of those. We're actually out of recovery vehicles now. And I just will do 1. I'll pay some money to know what my manpower situation is. It's not good. Okay, so we know what we need to do for industry though this turn. We definitely need to get a lot of recovery vehicles. And we actually have this Gripin still complaining because I didn't actually add the, I don't know why it says auto reinforces on, but yet it doesn't do that. That's fine. Are you level 2 yet? At least you're level 2, but your readiness is so low. I'm going to leave you where you are. We will deploy them as soon as they get up to maybe like 70% readiness. Yeah, but industry, I need to figure this out. Okay, for what I assume is truly the last turn of peace, we're getting more recovery vehicles, more APCs. We're a little bit low on them. We only have 11, so I think we need to build up our reserve there. And then we're getting more Gripins. With the very little manpower we have remaining, we do have enough aircraft to at least form 1 new air fixed-wing squadron. That takes most of our manpower, but let's get these guys, first of all, equipped, and second of all, training. And yeah, so that's good. So we'll have 2 fixed-wing aircraft. I don't know if we'll need more than just the 2 squadrons. I may want to switch into like more ground attack type roles if these guys are successful in like dominating the skies. We do have 2 air defense as well that probably in the hindsight we didn't need, but I mean, it's still nice to have them. And honestly, our combat readiness is looking like pretty good. Senator, this one is behind the lines, right? 67? Or did I toss it in there? Yeah, it's behind. Okay. All right, well, let's see what combat looks like. After I spend my money. Oh, I almost did it. I almost did it. Do 1 click of this for fun. And then we'll lobby for the rest. Okay. Am I bugged? Crisis is still imminent. Well, I have to think that I actually hit a bug in the game or something, because even 2 turns ago, our current tension was 100%. I am going to advance some time on my own, and maybe I'll end this video here. See you back for the next one, and hopefully I'll get that one out quick. Until then, thanks for watching, and take care.